Chew this for just 60 seconds a day, and even at 70 years old, your body can surprise you with an erection that feels strong, natural, and alive again. I know that sounds almost impossible, but it's not science fiction. It's biology, and it's a truth that far too many older men have never been told. I am Dr. A urologist and men's health specialist with over 3 decades of experience helping men reclaim their vitality. I've sat across from thousands of patients who thought their best years were behind them. And I've seen how the right habits can bring back confidence, energy, and performance without the crutch of endless pills. Here's the paradox. Most men believe the solution lies in medications, expensive supplements, or complicated routines. Yet, the body responds powerfully to something as simple as chewing. When you chew the right foods in the right way, your circulation, hormones, and energy begin to shift almost immediately. It's a quiet secret of nature hiding in plain sight. That's why today I want to make you a promise. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to chew, why it works, and how to turn it into a daily ritual that supports firmer, more reliable erections naturally. No gimmicks, no quick fixes, just a practice you can trust with your health and manhood, and I'll go one step further. I'll reveal 3 specific foods that work in harmony with your body, not only for erections, but also for your heart, your prostate, and your energy. The best part, you already have access to them, and the results may surprise you. Stay with me. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to hit that button and turn on the bell. That way, you'll never miss another natural health tip designed especially for men over 60. And if you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can serve you better. Now, let's begin with the very first key idea, the power of chewing itself. Most men overlook this simple act, yet chewing does far more than break food down. It awakens your circulation, activates vital enzymes, and helps older bodies absorb nutrients more efficiently, laying the foundation for stronger erections. The power of chewing for men over 61. The power of chewing for men over 60. When I first began treating older men with concerns about their erections, many were expecting a prescription, a pill, or some complicated regimen. What often surprised them most was when he said, "Let's start with how you chew." At first, they would laugh, thinking I was joking. But then, once I explained the science, they realized this small, overlooked act could be one of the most powerful tools for restoring vitality. Chewing is not simply about breaking food into smaller pieces, so you can swallow more easily. The moment you begin to chew, something remarkable happens. Your saliva is released. And within that saliva are enzymes that immediately start the process of breaking down food. This means the nutrients in what you're chewing become available to your body faster and more efficiently. For men over 60, this is a crucial difference. As we age, digestion slows and absorption weakens. Many nutrients simply pass through without ever being used. But when you chew thoroughly, you give your body a chance to truly take in the fuel it needs. There's also another layer. Chewing sends signals to your nervous system that energy is on the way. Your circulation begins to wake up. Blood vessels prepare themselves, and your body becomes more responsive. It's as though a switch is flipped inside, reminding your system how to perform the way it once did with ease. When blood flow is awakened in this way, not only do you feel lighter and more energetic, but your erections can become firmer and more reliable. I often think about the many men who looked at me skeptically at first only to return weeks later and say, "Doctor, I didn't believe it, but I feel the difference." And that's the beauty of chewing with purpose. It doesn't demand much of you, just a minute of your day. But the impact can ripple across your health, your energy, and your confidence. Now, if chewing alone can create this much of a foundation, imagine what happens when you combine it with the right natural foods designed to open your blood vessels and boost testosterone. This is where the story gets truly exciting. And it begins with one ingredient you probably already have in your kitchen. Food number 1, garlic, nature's vascular tonic. 2, food number 1, garlic, nature's vascular tonic. I still remember the first time I recommended raw garlic to one of my patients. He was in his late 60s, frustrated by the fact that his erections had grown weaker and less dependable. He leaned back in the chair, raised an eyebrow, and asked, "Garlic, doctor? You mean the stuff I cook pasta with?" I smiled and told him, "Yes, because garlic is so much more than just a kitchen flavor. It is one of nature's most powerful medicines for circulation and male performance. When you chew garlic, especially a fresh clove, it releases compounds called allicinin and other sulfur-based elements. These are not active until the garlic is crushed, chopped, or chewed, which is why the act of chewing itself is so essential. Once released, these compounds stimulate your blood vessels to produce nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the very molecule that relaxes and opens those vessels, allowing blood to flow more freely into the penis. Without it, erections become weak, short, or inconsistent. With it, firmness and staying power return. I have watched men who were skeptical at first come back after a few weeks of chewing a single clove daily, and tell me they felt lighter, stronger, even more energized. Garlic doesn't just help erections. It thins the blood slightly, lowers high blood pressure, and keeps arteries from stiffening. That means your entire vascular system benefits. And since erections are a vascular event, the improvements translated directly into the bedroom. Even the prostate gains protection because garlic reduces inflammation and eases congestion, often leading to fewer nighttime bathroom trips. Yes, the taste can be strong, but it can be tamed slicing it, mixing it with honey, or letting it rest before chewing. The secret is not in quantity, but in steady consistency. One small clove a day is enough to gradually transform your circulation and vitality, and if a simple clove of garlic can do all this, just wait until you discover the warming root that not only stirs blood flow, but also helps calm the very stress that robs so many men of their confidence. Food number 2, ginger, warming the body, boosting testosterone. 3. Food number 2, ginger. Warming the body, boosting testosterone. There is something almost magical about ginger. I remember visiting a patient in his 70s who had spent years feeling weighed down after meals. His stomach bloated and his energy drained. He told me intimacy had become rare because he never felt light enough, never confident enough. I suggested something simple. Chew a thin slice of fresh ginger every evening. He looked puzzled, but agreed. 2 weeks later, he returned, and the first thing he said was, "Doctor, I feel warmth in my body again. And in the mornings, I'm waking up with a firmness I thought was gone for good." That story is not unusual, because ginger carries compounds called gingerols and shoggols, which work inside the body in ways men often underestimate. When you chew ginger, these compounds help relax your blood vessels, allowing blood to move with greater freedom. They reduce the silent inflammation that stiffens arteries with age. And most importantly for men, they support healthy testosterone levels, which are essential for desire, strength, and reliable erections. The sensation of chewing ginger is unique. Within seconds, a gentle heat spreads through your chest, your belly, and yes, even into the pelvic region. That heat is not just a feeling. It is blood moving, oxygen reaching tissues, and your body preparing itself for performance. At the same time, ginger soothes digestion, clears bloating, and frees up energy that would otherwise be wasted. Many men over 60 do not realize how much poor digestion drags them down until they experience the lift that ginger brings. Perhaps what makes ginger truly special is its calming effect on the nervous system. Stress is one of the greatest enemies of performance, and ginger helps quiet those racing thoughts and lower stress hormones. It allows you to enter intimacy with focus, relaxation, and confidence. And if ginger can warm your blood, ease your stomach, and steady your nerves, imagine what happens when you add a food that not only opens blood vessels, but also fuels the very hormone that defines masculinity itself. Food number 3, walnuts, building blocks of testosterone. 4. Food number 3, walnuts. Building blocks of testosterone. Over the years, I've spoken with many men who believed their struggles with energy and performance were simply part of aging, something they had to accept. One gentleman in his early 70s once confessed to me that he had stopped expecting much from his body. He thought the days of waking up with morning strength or feeling ready for intimacy were behind him. I handed him a small bag of walnuts and told him to chew a handful each day slowly and mindfully. He laughed, but he trusted me enough to try. A month later, he walked into my office smiling, saying, "Doctor, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel alive again." Walnuts are more than a snack. They are one of nature's finest tools for men's health. Inside every nut is an amino acid called arginine, which your body uses to create nitric oxide, the very molecule that relaxes blood vessels and allows blood to flow into the penis. Without enough nitric oxide, erections are weak. With it, they are full, firm, and lasting. Alongside arginine, walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, the healthy fats that serve as raw material for testosterone production. Testosterone is not just about sex drive. It influences your mood, your stamina, your recovery, and your sense of vitality. Without enough of it, life feels flat. Chewing walnuts thoroughly breaks them down and releases their oils, making the nutrients easier to absorb. It also slows you down, giving your body time to process food in a way that enhances digestion and energy. Just a small handful a day is enough to support hormone balance, circulation, and overall vitality. And what's more, walnuts also protect your heart, sharpen your memory, and fight the silent inflammation that chips away at strength with age now. If walnuts can rebuild testosterone and circulation in such a powerful way, you may be wondering how to actually put all of this into practice in a routine that is simple, safe, and effective. That's exactly where we're headed next. How to put this into practice 5. How to put this into practice. One of the most common questions I hear from men after sharing these foods is, "Doctor, how do I actually do this without overcomplicating my life?" And I always tell them the same thing. Simplicity is your greatest ally. You don't need to chew all 3 foods at once or load your plate with massive amounts. In fact, the power lies in making this a daily ritual. Small, steady, and consistent. That's where real change happens. Think about it this way. For garlic, all you need is 1 small clove. Not 5, not 3, just 1. Chew it slowly. Let the flavor release and let those compounds mix with your saliva. For ginger, a thin slice no larger than your thumbnail is enough to create that warming effect, sending signals through your body that blood is moving and energy is on the rise. And for walnuts, a small handful chewed carefully and mindfully gives your system the building blocks for stronger testosterone and steadier circulation. That's it. Not complicated, not overwhelming. I know it can feel tempting to do more, to believe that doubling or tripling the dose will give faster results. But I've seen too many men upset their stomachs or burn themselves out that way. This is not about force. It is about rhythm, consistency, and letting your body adjust. Think of these foods as gentle medicine taken in the right dose at the right time with patience. The best time is often in the evening or after a meal when your body is already primed for digestion. That's when the nutrients are absorbed most efficiently. And remember, one day won't change much. But a few weeks of steady practice can transform how your body feels, how your mornings begin, and how you show up in moments of intimacy. And if learning how to apply these foods is this simple, it's just as important to know the mistakes that can quietly undo your progress. Mistakes I've seen countless men make without realizing the cost. That's exactly what I want to share with you next. 6 mistakes to avoid. Over the years, I've seen so many men begin this journey with excitement only to grow frustrated when they didn't feel the results they were hoping for. And when I asked about their routine, the issue was rarely the foods themselves. It was the way they used them. The first mistake is believing that more is better. I remember one gentleman who thought chewing 3 or 4 cloves of garlic each day would speed things up. Within a week, he came back with heartburn, stomach discomfort, and a sense of defeat. The truth is, 1 small clove is enough. Garlic is powerful, and too much can irritate rather than help. Another common mistake is treating ginger the same way. A thin slice will warm the body and open circulation beautifully, but if you chew large amounts at once, it can leave a burning sensation and even upset your digestion. Ginger is like fire. You only need a spark to bring light. When it's overdone, it scorches instead of heals. And then there's the lifestyle pairing. I can't tell you how many men proudly told me they were chewing their walnuts or garlic each night, but also admitted they were drinking heavily or eating large. Heavy meals right before bed. Alcohol may feel relaxing in the moment, but it dehydrates the body, lowers testosterone, and dulls the very sensitivity you're trying to restore. Overeating late at night slows digestion, robs you of deep sleep, and interferes with the natural testosterone surge your body depends on during the night. These habits undo so much of the good work the foods are trying to build. Gentlemen, remember this is about balance, not extremes. Small, steady actions practiced daily will always outlast shortcuts or overindulgence. Protect your stomach, respect your sleep, and give your body the chance to respond. And once you begin to avoid these pitfalls, you'll notice that the benefits stretch far beyond the bedroom, touching nearly every aspect of your health. That wider transformation is where we're headed next. Bigger picture benefits 7. Bigger picture benefits. What has always inspired me most in my years of practice is watching how a small change in daily routine can ripple into every corner of a man's life. When my patients first come to me, their main concern is usually about erections. They feel embarrassed, worried, sometimes even broken. But after a few weeks of steady chewing, whether it's garlic, ginger, or walnuts, what they begin to notice is so much larger than just firmness. They tell me their mornings feel lighter, their steps stronger, and their minds clearer. Some say they no longer feel weighed down after meals. Others notice their sleep is deeper, or that they're not waking up to use the bathroom as often. These are not coincidences. They are signs of the body waking back up to the vitality it once knew. When circulation improves, your heart works with less strain and oxygen reaches every part of your body, including your brain. Men often describe sharper focus, steadier moods, and even more patience with their loved ones. When testosterone rises naturally, your energy lasts longer through the day, your muscles recover more quickly, and your sense of confidence grows. And when inflammation decreases, joints acheless, movement feels freer, and the heaviness of age begins to lift. This is the real reward of consistency. Not only stronger erections, but a stronger man in every sense. I've seen men who came in discouraged about intimacy later tell me their wives noticed the difference in their energy, their presence, even the sparkle in their eyes. That's when I know this goes beyond medicine. It's about restoring dignity, restoring confidence, and restoring joy in life's simplest moments. So, yes, chewing for 60 seconds a day may begin with the goal of better erections. But what you gain is an entire renewal of health and spirit. And if these are the changes from a few simple foods, just imagine what happens when we bring everything together into one final message you'll want to carry with you for the rest of your life. Conclusion. Gentlemen, as we bring this journey to a close, I want you to take a step back and see the bigger picture. What we've talked about today is not a magic trick or a passing trend. It's about rediscovering the strength that has always been inside you, waiting to be unlocked. Chewing for 60 seconds may seem almost too simple, but you now know why it works. It activates saliva, wakes up your circulation, and allows your body to absorb the very nutrients that fuel erections, energy, and vitality. We looked at garlic, the natural tonic that opens blood vessels, protects your prostate, and strengthens your entire vascular system. We explored ginger with its warming power that calms stress, supports testosterone, and makes you feel light and alive again. And we saw the strength of walnuts, the builder of nitric oxide and testosterone, restoring confidence in both body and mind. Each of these is small on its own, but when woven into a steady routine, they can change your mornings, your evenings, and your entire outlook on life. I've spent decades helping men over 60 realize that their best years are not behind them. I've witnessed eyes light up as they tell me about firmer mornings, renewed intimacy, and energy they thought was gone forever. And I want the same for you. So tonight, choose one of these foods. Chew it slowly. Give your body a chance to respond and stay consistent. In a few weeks, you may find yourself stronger, more confident, and more alive than you believed possible. Your journey isn't over. It's just beginning.